Hello everybody and welcome to Kuala Lumpur to the Bukit Jalil National Stadium for round 2 of the 2019 Asia Rugby Championship between hosts Malaysia and visitors South Korea. Today we will see what lessons have been learnt from last week's 52-14 victory, Korea beating Malaysia at the Namdong Stadium in Korea. 10 tries were scored, but there are patches of poor play. Let's now have a look at some of the highlights from last week in Korea.
Malaysia travelled to Incheon for round 1 of the Asia Rugby Championship. The visitors were heavy underdogs versus Korea, but against the run and play jumped out to an early lead, thanks to front rower Lawrence Petrus. Korea answered back quickly, dotting down 3 times and taking a 19-7 lead into the break. In the second half, the host added 2 more tries, but for a scrappy Malaysia, clawed back a score through Wang Wai, who touched down in the corner. But Korea's athleticism was too much for the visitors, running out 52-14 winners in the series opener.
Here the teams now are ready to come out into this beautiful stadium built for the 1998 Commonwealth Games here in Malaysia. 85,000 seater stadium, and you can hear the crowd now warming up. Last year the fixture here, the Koreans won 35 points to 10. Let's have a look at the current standings after round 1. Korea with 52 points there. They scored 8 tries to 2 last week, taking the full complement of 5 points. And Malaysia will be looking to come back and take some sort of revenge on that hammering last week. And Hong Kong yet to play a game in this series. They'll be watching this tonight as you see the teams come out here. The lights are on and the crowd has finished their fasting for today at 7:23 p.m. So they'll be in good form as the teams line up. And what a scene we do have here. Probably a 2,000 or 3,000 crowd at this stage. Brad Mika, the coach for Malaysia, will have tried to shore up some of the holes in defence from last week's leaking 8 tries. But the Korean coach also, he wouldn't have been happy with the way things went. A bit of a rusty old game last week, both teams with lots to improve as we stand by now for the national anthems. First from South Korea and then from Malaysia. Let's look now at the Korean lineup skippered by Na Kwon Yong. They have 5 changes to the starting lineup in 7, 9 and 10, 12 and 13. There are 6 debutants, some experience in the back line with 11 Jang Jong Min, Jong Yong 6 at 14 and Lee Jai Bok at 15. And the Malaysians, well, they've made 3 changes to their starting lineup in numbers 3, 4 and 7. 5 changes to the squad. The biggest change perhaps is the switch between fullback and fly half. Nakasima going to fly half and Fairuz Rahman going to 15. Key players, Dinisvaran, Krishnan, the skipper, and number 8, Ito Sakuru. And the benches now, the Koreans, well, look at those numbers there from 19, 20, 21, 22 and 23. All students, all aged between 20 and 22. Some very big boys there. Lawrence Petrus for the Malaysians onto the bench after scoring his try last week. And so we are now standing by for the national anthems. And the crowd are on their feet, and why wouldn't they be? They don't get big matches like this in the Bukit Jalil Stadium all the time. We had 2 matches here last year, and the biggest crowds by far of the Rugby Championship were here. I welcome in my co-commentator, Jed Dine. What are you expecting tonight, Jed?
Well, first of all, it's great to be back in Kuala Lumpur. What a marvellous city. And we've been beautifully hosted by the Malaysian Rugby Union. As some mementos of this occasion swap hands. The Korean captain holding the hibiscus plaque is a memento of this clash between Korea and Malaysia. It's going to be a very interesting affair, and a very interesting affair for that young man right there in the centre of your camera. There he is, Craig Chan, Hong Kong Referee Society, making his debut tonight as the international referee, and he's even brought in some heavyweight support from Hong Kong in the form of none other than Hugh Watkins. And look at that crowd. Listen to that. There's going to be some atmosphere in here tonight. They do love their rugby union in Kuala Lumpur and in Malaysia in general. And they're playing at home. So we've really got to hope that Malaysia come with the third leg tonight. They were convincingly put to the sword by Korea in Namdong Asiad Stadium last weekend. They made some minor tweaks to the pack, and let's just hope that the sweltering conditions outside and a bit of travel mixed in, plus some young players in the Korean side, will maybe open the door a little bit for this Malaysian side. And we've seen if they can get their confidence going, they will run. And of course that Fijian contingent within the Malaysian side, well, it always guarantees a bit of X factor. Craig Chan, ready now? Boozer, it's all yours.
It's going to be Fairuz Rahman from Malaysia to get this big fixture underway. Round 2 of the 2019 Asia Rugby Championship. He goes deep, sticks it long down to Lee Yong-gun. He's on debut tonight, the number 13. They work it out of the 22. There also as a first start for Che Min Seong in number 9. The young man from Yonsei University. They go deep. And the Malaysians are waiting with 4 players behind the ball into the hands of Fairuz Rahman. He tries to set a target for the forwards. They'll want to get it through the hands a few times. The Malaysians calm down the nerves. Here goes Ito Salkuru, this big number 8. He is critical to everything they do, but looks like a little knock on there. So Craig Chan with the first blast, and we'll have a look at the scrum for the first time. And what have you noticed in the pack weights, Jeremy?
Well, it's interesting that the Korean side has really flipped the script. They've lost somewhere along the line 20 or 30 kilos from last week's starting forward pack. They still maintain a fair bit of grunt across the front, as you can see. Look at the physical size of these men. You really have to look twice about getting in the elevator when you see 1 or 2 of these big fat popos in your way. But it'll be just intriguing to see where the extra weight from Malaysia has got some impact at set piece time.
Che Min Seong with the ball.
2 things. First, your head.
And when I say the advantage goes to Malaysia this year, I mean this week it does. At 866 kilos in the pack weight, they start at least a good 10 or 15 kilos heavier than the pack last weekend in Korea. So Brad Meeker might have been sitting on a few trump cards.
Lawrence Petrus on the bench. Well, he's 120 kilos. Too early, says Craig Chan, so he's not having any of that nonsense. The young referee from Hong Kong, he's burst onto the scene in the last couple of seasons, elevating himself ahead of others.
Well, he's done well. He's a natural. He's a very good man manager. He manages the players very nicely, calm out in the middle. We've seen him really come on leaps and bounds through the Asia Rugby 7 series over the last couple of seasons. He's migrated his way onto the field, and tonight he's got the big job. It's a big moment, and I'm sure back in Hong Kong there's a lot of very, very, very proud friends and family.
Brian Wilfredolina on this side from the Oscar Warriors, and again pulling down. Craig Chan not afraid to make the big call on the front row early on.
They'll go to the poles here surely, won't they?
Good 48 metres. They look to the side. And this with the ball in his hand is Park Ji-soo. He's a debutant tonight from the Coca-Cola Red Sparks in Japan. Just one of 5 players playing in the top league in Japan, so it tells you the calibre of this Korean side. Coming off the bench last week, and it'll be big Kim Ji from Kepco. He's a big man. Usually they've got a rock-solid line out in the Koreans, and that one goes to plan. Trying to set a target in the midfield is Yu Ji-hoon. Nicely away quickly by Chae Min-seong, and look at them just charging out of the line comes Gavidi. Doesn't make the tackle, puts his team under pressure. They're over the line, they've held them up, can they get him down? And that's going to be hard to award, surely, even with all the cameras we have here. Held up, says, hang on, we're going upstairs.
I want to check. Okay. Check. Camo, please, Greg.
Well, Craig Chan gets the opportunity to press the button, so he can use the facility if he wants to. Well, wouldn't you? First time out. Go to the TMO, but look at that play from the Koreans from the set piece. Shorten line out, big punching, driving run, nice quick ball, and then just the strength and support to get around the players and drive them over the line. This is the finishing touches of this play. Good straightening here. Look, there's some lazy first up tackling early in the test match, and it's not really what you want to see. They were able to slow the Korean attacker down, but look at the determination on these Korean players. There's only 4 of them there, and they're backing up the Malaysians like they're not even particularly interested at the moment. We're expecting to see perhaps a little bit more from the Hibiscus 15.
Yes, that was Kim Namuk with the big surge there. He's a midfielder. He's played on the wing last season, and he was on the bench last week. Very talented. One of the more statesman-like players from this Korean squad. In his late 20s, one of the few that's... These Malays, they just can't put the brakes on, can they? And the big Koreans get in behind Kim Namuk.
Yeah, well, that's fairly significant early in the game, isn't it? I mean, it was all created off a nice set piece, and a lot for Korea playing at number 5, Yang Dae-yong. He is a bit of a weapon. I think we've seen the last couple of weeks. He gets around, he likes to cause a bit of trouble and disrupt. Referee Chan.
Tallest man out there, Tang Tae-yong, 196 centimetres, just 1 centimetre on his opposite. Divasvaran Krishnan, the Malaysian skipper, no try. And the crowd are delirious with that decision. They've held off the Koreans.
Might be get some fan mail, Craig, after the game.
But look, it's 4 minutes on the clock, and well, we've had 2 attempts at a scrum so far, neither going well for Malaysia. So what's going to happen here? It could be a long game for these front rows.
Crouch.
For the Malaysian front row anyway.
Fine.
Chae Min-seong with the ball. Didn't see Cha Sung-kun come off the back much last week at 8. He's certainly bigger than 75 kilos, Jed.
He certainly looks that way,
Started
doesn't he?
to turn, can Cha pick it up? He's got it, he's down, and Craig Chan's on the spot. He awards the try. After just 4 minutes, the Malaysian scrum buckles, and it's Cha from the back for the big 5-pointer.
Well, not a great start for the home side, but a very interesting start from the Korean pack. We know they've got some significant power. Look, he might have taken that off him, has he? He has. I think he's ripped that away from the Malaysian player and scored there at the halfback, giving up possession, and some great work from the cameraman to pick that up. Look at that. The Malaysian pack disintegrates. And the interesting thing about that particular scrum, Grant, was the patience that Korea showed on the engagement. And there, that actually will be interesting from Hong Kong's point of view.
Yes, I'm sure Hong Kong front row coach Brett Wilkinson will be watching this, and he'll just watch it over and over all night. He will. With the shot is Park, and he put that one away. A chance for a few extra points to his international tally. I think what happened there, that was going to be a penalty scrum if it wasn't scored. The number 9, Khairul Abdullah, had picked it out of the back of the scrum there as it rotated. And as you said, the big number 8, Cha Sung-kun, tore it out of his tiny hands. And they find themselves 5-0 down after 6 minutes. Another chance for them to get into the Korean up. It's Fairuz Rahman, the fullback. He's taking the restarts, not Nakasima, and it's bobbling around. The crowd gets excited. Lee Jai Bok has the patience to run back a few steps, puts that right on the line. Well taken by the fullback Fairuz Rahman. This is the fly half. Nakasima there. They've done well to get to the 10. Now they just need a bit of patience, the Malaysians. They just need to trust their systems. And that was a bit of a dipper, wasn't it? Fell down at the feet of this big lock forward, 190 centimetres from Eagles, Nathaniel Tan. Wasn't very sympathetic pass though, and momentum lost.
No, not a great ball at all. Just the handling errors, that's not good to see. They're under some pressure, they've got a good haul of fans have come in on a late evening here in KL. And you can really sense the Malaysian side's ambitions here. You can feel how eager they are to really perform in front of their fans, and that's great. They've got to keep the minds as cold as possible. This is an interesting situation now for Korea.
Okay, what happened? Let me tell you what I seen. What happened is you guys are not going straight at all. Okay, your guys, number one, need to stay up anyways. Okay, so I will manage on that. So we have a look with you.
Craig Chan talking to Duke, the Malaysian skipper. As you're saying, Jed, the Malaysians ranked 45th in the world. Very proud of their rugby team. Got to say, I walked around the stadium earlier, and Malaysian Rugby's done very well at selling Malaysian rugby shirts. Last year it was all Super Rugby shirts and not many Malaysian shirts. So a bit of a campaign going on here, getting behind their boys. Enjoying their highest spot on the ladder ever at 45 currently. And they're not heeding Craig Chan's warnings. So yes, a fourth scrum unable to complete successfully.
Well, I can almost give Malaysia a little bit of leeway, particularly when Korea's putting the ball, and Malaysia's the one under pressure. They're the ones that really have to attack. Sort of would seem counterintuitive when you've got the weaker pack and you've got to go after the bigger one. But you know, if you don't show a bit of pluck, if you don't show some backbone, a team like Korea will reach in and take it out and throw it on the sideline.
So the tight head prop Lee Kyu Sing is off, and on comes early on in the game Lim Jun Hoi from the POSCO club. He's going to get 75 minutes he might not have expected. Away it goes by Che Min Seong, and they try to set the midfield ball again. Getting that platform, the big boys come around the corner, and they keep on coming around the corner. Look who's off the rank there, it's Yang Tae-yong. He gets missed out this time. Lee Jai Bok with the sweet hands onto Jang Jong Min. And they've got such danger men out wide, don't they? Got blistering pace, the Koreans, but they've turned that one over, and Nakasima sends that one sailing downfield, and just going to be interesting to see how Nakasima goes at 10. We've not seen him play there. There he is on your screen. He's been given the nod by Big Brad Mika. There he is, 3-cap All Black.
At your shores. Hurry up.
Well, it's good to see Malaysia holding the ground there in that part of the pitch. Korea might be a little bit bereft of ideas once they did have the ball, but defensive shape from Malaysia stacking up.
Kim Jeep hits Son Min Soo in the line out, and they turn it over. It's the try scorer Cha Sung Kun with the bobble. Khairul Abdullah gets to Nakasima, and they're going for these wide passes. Shahir Azraf, the veteran in 13 there, shakes off the attentions of Lee Yong-gun. They can get some phases going here just to build up a little confidence. Nakasima with the quick hands, and Krishnan there, the dummy runner. Fired away again by Khairul Abdullah. Big defence coming in from Yang Tae-yong. This huge man, look at him. Almost 2 metres. Here goes Krishnan. And just hot potato again. This is Amarul Mukminin. Of course, you've got Wong Wai Wai out there, the winger. He's a very good-looking runner, scored a great try last week. You want to see some ball. Nakasima has a look, and everybody's standing still, so he takes the line on. Son Min Soo takes him. Now they decide to try and give it a little bit of air. Going over the top is Park Ji-soo.
Still got penalty advantage line.
Yeah, it's an advantage. That one was a little high. He ducked into it, mind. And there's some
No advantage from
sloppy
there.
hands from Duke, just having a look up at the defensive line, and
Edge wide,
will come back for the penalty. The crowd love it.
Well, there's always going to be significant pressure on the Duke, isn't there? I mean, they know he's a danger man. If he gets into the gap, he's got the physical ability to pull him away. It's good to see Malaysia getting the ball through the hands. I think he was having a wee look there, and why wouldn't you? Big man coming in, number 3. That's 120 kilos chasing you down. Well, you've got to keep an eye on the ball. He's got a very firm fix on you. And Malaysia now put themselves, well, unsuccessfully down the track. And that'll be returned with some real vigour, I think.
It turns out okay for the Malaysians after all. Lee Jai Bok not peeling off too much yardage off that left boot of his. And of course, Dinisvaran Krishnan, the Duke at number 5, the only player here playing outside of Malaysia, plays for the Hino Red Dolphins, along with Jong Yon Sik opposite him in number 14. It's not tidy off the top, and that's a concern as well. The scrum's not going well. Line out looks wobbly. And the Koreans now with a chance to exit. It's all over the shop though. Finally, Chae Min-seong gets it back. And that's more of a bomb than a clearing kick. It's a bit of both. It's a hybrid. And they make their way down close to the 10 metre now, the Koreans.
Well, I'd just like to see this Malaysian side use the width of the park. Try and move some of these big, tight forwards from Korea around a bit. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, believe us, it is very, very warm in Kuala Lumpur, and the humidity's high, and it must be so draining playing in these conditions.
Amarul Mukmanan goes over the top. That's another miss. That's 2 in a row. Long game when the set piece is not working. Shahir Asraf gets his hand in the way there, and it's advantage for the Whites. Chae Min-seong digging that one out. Back to his young partner Park Ji-soo, straight down the middle. A lot of aimless kicking so far, and here they come back at the line. That's more like it. Putting his head down is Fairuz Rahman. That's more like it from Malaysia. Nakasima's got himself out of position there. He's right in behind the scrum there, and Duke takes it forward. He's done well to get across the advantage line with a poor start. That's Nathaniel Tan, the other big lock, and they've turned it over, and it's all over the place here. Chugging back goes Badrul Mukti for his first touch. One of 4 Eagles in this back line. Makes it to the 10 metre. Khairul Abdullah, and they're just standing around looking for runners. Sakuru to Nakasima, the Fijians combine. Coming off his wing is Wong Wai Wai.
Lost. No.
Shahir Asraf tries to secure that. There he is. It's very slow. This is the hooker. Just trying to get it wide, and this time knocking it on is Amarul Abbas. The Koreans now, they have a chance here to counter, but for the 3rd or 4th time, their abilities at quick turnover been exposed a little, and that's a good line break almost from Son Min-soo from the Hyundai club. It's out the back, it's very out the back to Lee Jai Bok. Is that forward? Yeah, it was. And he gets absolutely hammered, does Lee Yong-gun, and the crowd enjoyed that. Listen to the joy.
So you might have a little bit of a cork thigh, I would have thought. There's a lot of push in that one. Look for the knee and the contact here. Because he was coming through hot. Yes, it was indeed. It's a decent cork thigh. Look at that. That'll sting for the next week or so. Right in the top of the hip. As they say in the old trade, Boozer, hold on to that one.
It was a corker, and that was Wong coming in, steaming in there. Almost like a steamboat.
Malaysia at the moment, just if you're going to be super critical, you'd like to see them get a little bit crisper on the gain line, like keep the ball right up there. Saw from the A couple of start-up plays. Guys, just not quite an orchestra. Plenty of room to make up for this Malaysian side in terms of performance. But I'm always going to commend them on their enthusiasm. They're keen as mustard.
Just struggling with their own scrum here. Right on the halfway there. A huge amount of effort exerted without the ball coming in. So
I suggest viewers just keep an eye on this Korean tight five. They will be finding it pretty hard going. It was very cool last week in Korea for the test match there. There was no sign of hot weather at all. So they've gone straight out of the chiller and into the fryer. And if they start getting a bit hot and heavy out there, the Malaysians might sense it and wind their dials up a little bit more. But as it gets late in the game,
okay, both of you hold your body weight. Let's go set it up.
I'm already starting to see a few of these shoulders from these Korean boys starting to really move.
yeah, they won't mind these scrums slowing the game down, will they? They probably back themselves to win almost every scrum in this game.
Crouch.
Let's see here, the Malaysians. Nakasima's quite wide off the scrum. Is Sakura going to take it quickly off the back? Yes, he is, and he just gives the ball up to Y, who's come off his wing. Nakasima, gets it over the halfway, crabbing across the field, looking for runners. Ran everybody out of space. Here's Ito. Ito on the inside ball. Was he taken out early? Looked like Vunimoku was interfered with there as he tried to get to his big number 8. Craig Chan is happy with it though. There is Vunimoku.
Oh, great look. He's starting to cramp up as well. But straight through the gap, and gee whiz, the Koreans weren't too fussed about getting to know him, were they?
Nothing in that.
Very good play though from Malaysia from the set piece. The deception of midfield, giving them just a little bit deeper penetration into the half. They could set up some front foot ball. Very nearly capitalised by getting deep into the 22. Good play though. The Koreans caught off guard there in the midfield.
Yeah, if you had a look there at that headshot, it was quite ominous, wasn't it? You had 3 Fijians in shot, one each side of Ito Saukuru, and just couldn't pull it off. I'm sure they all sense when each other's about to go and just hair off after them. There's Bradley Mika. Bit of a Super Rugby journeyman. Had 5 separate contracts around the Crusaders, the Hurricanes, and even the Blues. Picked up 3 All Black caps in 2002. Only 37. It's a young coach, first year in charge as the head coach. He was the assistant last year.
Back on. Scrum.
And neither team here stamping any authority so far. 17 minutes into this first half. It may be 5-0, but it's more likely the Koreans who are squandering opportunities that have been handed to them by the Malaysians so far.
Bind.
Let's have a look at this one. That's a steady, billiard table to work from, and Park enjoys a nice bit of early ball. Into the line comes this young Lee Yong-gun. Decides to take on the contact, and he's held upside down. Tackled ball though, and Fairuz Rahman not releasing. Even Craig Chan was shouting at him to let it go. Tackler must release, of course.
Ruckus form, second hand, playing ball on the ground. 9. Korea.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
If you want to do a quick tap, do it on the mark.
Look at this great tackle coming through from Gavidi, and then really just a lack of discipline to let the ball go. Now the team under even more pressure. Just little bits of experience like that, I think Malaysia, they'll pick them up. There's only one way you can learn it, isn't there? By sort of making the mistake and learning from it. But it's been deeply frustrating for Brad Mika.
It's a cheeky one to the front for the skipper, Na Kwon Yung. And he peels around, makes 2 or 3 metres, and Big Lee Jin Seok from Yamaha goes barreling in to Amarul Mukmanen. And now they're on the front foot. Like to see Korea just put 5 or 6 phases together here without going off script. This is the big man, Yang Tae-young. Both these locks from Japanese clubs. And got himself offside as Ito. Park now looking for the runners. It's a 4-on-1 situation. They've just got to make the space here. It's out to Na, the big man. Scored one last week. Gets pulled down on the 5. Chae Min-seong. It's going well in his first start for Korea. Let's have a look now at this Malaysian defence. It's going to get a good workout tonight. They're defending on their 5 metre.
Let's go, use it.
It's slow. Here he goes again. Yang Tae-young still on the 5 metre. The Malaysians sticking to task. Taking the line on this time. Park Ji-soo makes no leeway. And they're over the top of him. Lickety split, but we come way back for a high tackle. And let's see what the signal is here.
Blue 12. High tackle.
It's poles.
Well, that's an admission from Korea,
Captain.
really, that they need to do something to take the sting and a bit of the pluck out of this Korean side. They'll take the 3s, they'll get some rest. I imagine that decision was made by the intelligentsia of the Korean side, numbering 1 to 5.
They've changed the call, Jeff.
They've changed the call. Well, it's obviously been overridden by the captain. Who's the front row, isn't he?
That's right. We could look for a cheeky one around the front here again. Big Na Kwan Yung.
Maybe the front row forwards of the Korean side are backing themselves to glory, Boozer. Let's see, they'll be desperate to get that bonus point though, won't they?
Yeah, it'll be crucial, won't it?
That'll put some pressure back onto Hong Kong. And they make their debut in the tournament, in a fortnight?
An early substitution, Vunimoku, who hurt himself a couple of moments ago supporting that run by Sakura. He's gone off. And on comes Daniel Hamidi. So the Koreans now, they set something up. It's the replacement, Lim Junhoi in 20 there, peeling around just a couple of metres short. There is Na, he pops it up unselfishly. It's the big second rower. Yes, he's over. Yang Tae-young, this huge man from Toshiba Brave Lupus, dots down for try number 2 for Korea.
Well, he is a great big man, ladies and gentlemen. We observed them frolicking in the pool earlier today. I hope he got his rugby boots back because he did leave them behind. And no one said you had to be clever to be a second row forward. Look at him. He has been a real dynamite for the Koreans. Last week, he was in there making a real nuisance of himself, got in a dust up with the Duke. And this week, he's got one up on the Duke as he's gone straight through them. He's even given Gavidi a bit of a knock on the way through. No. Yang, he is a real big cart horse for this Korean side.
Out of the Toshiba Brave Lupus stable. And now with a second chance, he's got the outswinger going there. Has Park Ji-soo, so that wasn't a particularly difficult kick. So 2 unconverted tries to the Koreans. 21 minutes into this first half, and they lead the Malaysians 10 points to 0 in this second round fixture here at Bukit Jalil National Stadium. It's very late here at night. It's kickoff at 9 p.m, believe it or not. One of the latest kickoffs we've been involved with, and that was, we think, to allow people to come off their fast at 7:23, have a snack and get down to the rugby. Fairuz Rahman then, another restart. Will he go deep again? Yes, he does. He's got under that one. So Lee Yong-gun on debut. It's worked nicely for the Malaysian. They scoop on the mistake. They surge forward into the 22. Here come Malaysia. Looking for the big runners now. It's Ito Sakura. Just tries to straighten up. Just needs to pin his ears back.
Roll wide.
Taking him down in the tackle.
No
Here's Lim Junhoi.
Easy.
They can't capitalise on it, so we'll come back to the knock-on from the restart. Tension's running high there.
Scrum.
And a chance here right in the middle of the field for the Malaysians to get the Koreans guessing here about 15 metres out from the Korean line.
Yeah, time's off.
A handling error by
Korea. That sort of seems, in that particular instance, you might be able to isolate it and say that seems a bit strange. It could be, Grant, the first indication that conditions here are pretty hard for the Koreans. Well, you do have to watch out for someone. You have to look at this man. Hit hard. And we're looking for the number 8 from Korea cleaning out here, aren't we? Yep, there he goes. Well, it's a rough old game, Grant.
Yes, it is. This game's still struggling to take some shape. We sat through 80 minutes last week where both teams threw the game plan out the window. That's how it looked to us anyway. Went off script very early and just tried to throw it around. In the end, perhaps fitness just winning the game. Korea running in, I think it was 5 second half tries. We just have a bit of a break here while a boot gets put back on.
Well, I actually think this might be a mistake by Korea. I think they really should be pushing the tempo. I think they should be trying to accelerate the pace to burn off the Malaysians, because who's going to recover quicker in these conditions? Is Korea? No, they're not. They're always going to defer to the bounce back ability of the home side, who are quite happy. They could do this all night. If there's going to be breaks like this, they're just going to get stronger and stronger.
So let's see what the Malaysians have. I think this is their second scrum feed.
Crouch.
And
Bind.
Sakuru might just have to pick this out
Set.
again and go quickly off the back, but he's tucked himself in on the left side there, so. And it's ugly, but Craig Chan penalises the Koreans for coming up in that scrum. And what do they do here? They're only trailing by 10. I suspect they might have a shot. There's a bit of discussion. The Duke steps forward. He's on the ground, the Duke, actually. And he says from the ground, have a dig, mate. And the crowd applauds. They'd like to see 3 points on the board for Malaysia. Missed the whole of last season, did Duke. He broke his arm and missed the entire campaign. This is his first season as captain. Says he's enjoying himself. It's very long grass, isn't it? Hasn't been cut. It's quite heavy. Bit of rain yesterday. It's been dry today. Fairuz Rahman then from straight out in front, and he gets the flags up. Koopman and Kwok get their arms up down the right end of the field for Malaysia, and they're on the board with a big 3. And by certainly they're not out of this game. The Koreans are letting them into the game, you might say. The Malaysians, well, just play their style of rugby and try and release some of these strike runners. There it was.
3 points for Malaysia. Who knows? Only 7 adrift. Intriguing game. This heat, this late start, all adds to the mystery, doesn't it?
I tell you what too, Jed, if the average age of the Korean bench is 22 years old, a lot of uncapped debutants, if they come on when it's kind of close, and there's a lack of experience and leadership out there, anything could happen in those late stages. And of course fitness and conditioning as Shahir Ashraf takes that one forward. The Malaysians, and again Duke gets a difficult one. They turned it over and the Koreans cannot capitalise once again. They could probably have picked up a couple of tries by now, Korea, if they could put something onto these quick turnovers.
Well, the unfortunate thing is he's going to give himself a hard time, the skipper. But really, if you're the Korean coaching team and you're running video analysis the week before, you're pointing him out in particular as someone you need to take care of. Now, it's a terrible fact of life when you're a strike player that you're going to spend a lot of your time running fake lines and deception I think that's what I might start. They should start doing with the Duke.
Crouch. Bind.
27 minutes gone. A good opportunity here for Korea. They've split the backs, 4 to the left, 2 to the right. Cha brings it to the right, gives it to Che, and that one's forward there. Jong Yon Sik with no one in front of him, and that's just, well, it's just poor skills or communication and timing. All of the above, perhaps.
Yeah,
There wouldn't be too many boxes unticked from that era. Let's take a look at that.
Scrum.
Probably could tell right from the moment he let it go. Look at that, but he was just about in the car park ordering an Nasi Goreng.
It's a classic 8-9 and so to 14, and you would have backed Jong Yon Sik there to just put on the burners.
Crouch.
The real shame would to be in this game if we don't see the likes of Jong Yon Sik and Jang Jong Min and Wong for Malaysia getting a chance to show what they can do. Excitement machines. Malaysian scrum under all sorts of pressure. Coming off his wing is Badrul Mukti. Gets it to the 22. It's a bit scruffy on the floor. And throwing up his hands is Lim Jun Hui. I didn't mean to scruff him around the neck. Jan doesn't care though.
Discipline error for Korea down on the 22. Opportunity to keep the pressure on Malaysia, keep them boxed in, and they make the discipline error again, possibly after 30 minutes. Too soon to be calling the fatigue as the reason for that. I am keeping a hawkish eye on this forward pack from Korea. I think if there's going to be anywhere they're going to start to wobble, it's going to be up front.
Fairuz Rahman with the clearance, picks up about 22 or 3 metres. Amarul Mukmanan gets it in nicely. They win a line out finally, do Malaysia. Nakasima gets it on to Big Gavidi, who gets the ball free. Wong's outside and Wong's got to get the ball. Nakasima with one to beat. He's got support coming outside him. Hasselford in the 7-star. He gets chopped down. Tries to go again and knocks it on, does he? No. Play on, says Craig Chan. Sakuru's there, the big man. He goes for the line. It's Shahir Ashraf. 1 metre out, the Malaysians. The crowd are right behind them here. The Fijians are queuing up. They over the line there, and Craig Chan is right on the spot. Goodness me. Nakasima, Gavidi, and Hashrafuddin nearly pull it off.
Well, have a look at these pictures now. You see them in the background. These Korean players, they're down on their haunches. And the tails are up with the Malaysians as
Try yes or no,
the referee now goes through the process. And it'll be intriguing to see the vision caught by the cameraman here at Bukit Jalil Stadium, KL Sports City. Look at that tremendous break. Oh, if he'd tucked it and gone, he might have had the arm out for a fend. Who knows? Doesn't matter. He's done well to keep hold of it there because we thought he was gone for all money. And then they've just loaded the gun. Smart thing was they kept it pretty tight, didn't they? Oh, he's all the age and experience and the wisdom putting him in just in the right place at the right time almost. Plenty of vigour here. Where's that gone? Oh, he's gone over the top of the trench with that, has he?
There's no try going back with white 7 offside.
Yeah.
Look, there's a camera right there on that corner that we've not seen yet, facing the action, and perhaps we'll get a shot from that camera eventually. But I thought Hashrafuddin might have knocked that on as he went for the second go at it. Crowd says yes.
Crowd will be happy with it. Even the people in the car park are probably calling it.
The Malaysians, if they just go back to halfway and put some pressure on Greg Hinton, the TMO. Here we go. Here's the camera.
This is the angle. Oh, here it is. What about that one?
That's down, Jeremy.
White 7 is offside.
What about that one now? You wait. When they blow this one, the referee can find himself at the top of the Malaysian top 40 here.
Turn the pitch microphones down. So they're obviously happy that Hashrafadin did not knock it on earlier to this phase. And this is the wrong camera angle, isn't it? You can't see from here.
It's those blue and white boots that look like the one.
Gets it down there, doesn't he, in the second movement?
Right, so he has. He might have actually, I think the Koreans took a wee look and saw the Duke there, and he shot through on his own.
And the Duke's pointing, saying it's down. I think we're getting all the wrong angles, though.
All the tension, the drama, the action, the mystery. Here we go. See, he's got her up. They're looking the wrong way, the Koreans. I think he's want to snuck this one in.
Yeah. It's the second crack, isn't it?
Well, it's all up to the officials here. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is a good angle.
From the far corner.
Right. So, there he is. Pick and go.
There. I think it's the big tight head, Amarul Abbas, who's gone over.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Just that momentary lapse by Korea. They looked at the Duke and the prop. He didn't need too many invitations. What will it be?
Greg, do you hear me?
KL in his first test match. These holdouts could go right around the world.
Look out, we're coming back here to the potential knock on. There.
Well, he gathered it. I mean, he did tap it, but he actually regathered.
Okay. They roll on. They want to see it at full speed maybe this time. But we've seen that we can't see nothing from that angle. That's
They're saying he's possibly in front of the ball.
Steve Copeman. Look at them. Look like the men in black down there with their earpieces.
Oh, it's good. The crowd are making it noisy. There's the nod.
Hold on.
He's going back.
It's a try.
A famous moment for Malaysian rugby.
It's a try!
Thanks, Greg.
Malaysia! Listen to this crowd. The big prop, Amarul Abbas, has put them on the board with a big 5-pointer. And look at that crowd go. After a very long 2-minute look at that, the TMO finally gives it. And Hashrafadin, who provided the link there, he looks relieved that he wasn't the one that made a little mistake. And wow, they trail by 2, Jed.
I'm absolutely delighted for the Malaysians. Finally a midfield work that worked, sorry. They break through. Good support play. They arrived in numbers. They kept the intensity close to the line. Top score.
Fairuz Rahman from right out to bring them even. How about that? It'll be 10-all after 31 minutes. Tough kick for this young man from the Eagles Club. It's on its way. It looks good. It's over. The flags are up. 10-all here in Malaysia.
Well, terrific work by the Malaysian side. And that's a score that swept down the field. It started just on the inside of the Korean half. And it finished with a 7-pointer, 10-all. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that the Korean side have chosen to walk very lethargically back to the halfway. And I think they might think they're doing themselves a favour. I think it's playing into the Malaysians' hands. The longer this game goes, the more, well, in control Malaysia might seem.
Park Ji-soo goes deep, and look at this, Wong with the ball. He's a tasty looking runner. I like the look of this lad. He gets it up to the 22, and Nakasima now. Oh, and the big man, Nathaniel Tam, just takes a second one at that. Those are not the sort of exits you're looking for after a try. And Fairuz Rahman bangs it downfield. And the Malaysians are cheering for absolutely everything now, and why wouldn't they?
It's the 16th man on the field. Very vocal crowd, and they love every moment of the game. They've got something to say the whole way through. And it's good to see them just have a little bit of luck in front of these sticks here, isn't it? You know, we say those moments after the score, that's the time to hit back. I believe that Malaysia have got themselves right in the mix here.
Kim Jeep looks for and finds Lee Kyu Sing. Shah gets that a bit high and he's way behind the game line. Amarul Mukmanan wraps him up. They're right on the halfway now. They get it outside to the skipper, Naquan. Look at this big man go. I don't believe it. Na's going to go in. Oh, what a try for Korea. The skipper goes 40 metres and scores Korea's number 3 try. Simply unbelievable from Na Kwan Yung.
Well, they'll be calling him the dictator. Look at him rampaging down the sideline there. It's a beautiful sight for front rowers right around the world. We all join together and just rejoice at the sight of this. And even the fast finishing Fijian lock playing for Malaysia could not bring him down. Is that Gangnam Style?
Holy smokes, one last week, one this week, and what a couple of minutes we've had here at the National Stadium. Silence, please. No way.
Did it seem like that try came against the run of play?
No. Wasn't a great exit. They only managed to peel off 20 metres. And Park, he's trying to get one over the posts here, and that one looks a lot better. Copeman and Kwok get the flags up. And South Korea progressed to 17. Malaysia on 10 now in the 35th minute. And that's how you come back from a try to keep the locals in check. First success from 3 for Park.
I still don't think this is going entirely to script for Korea at the moment. It'll be interesting to see where this mindset was. Their tails were right up, even from, I guess, that mediocre exit that you spoke of. It wasn't a very well taken line out by Korea, and the Malaysians come charging through defensively to put the pressure on.
He's done it again. Lee Yong-gun, 2 in a row, and he's put it on a sixpence, has Fairuz Rahman. Exactly the same spot, same result, and offside. So what do they do here? With 4 minutes left, they go for the post. Is that the right call, Jed?
Well, I think that's not a bad call. Keeps them connected on the scoreboard, keeps the scoreboard ticking over. It plays in their favour in terms of going to the break. They can arrive at the break 4 points down rather than 7. And it's all about scoreboard pressure. The Koreans might have thought to themselves, heck, we could go to the halftime break here 25 points ahead. Now they're thinking to themselves, hang on a minute, we're only 4 up, and it's getting hotter, and they're getting noisier.
That's right, and a bit of an experience perhaps from Lee Yong-gun there, just taking that fully frontal on. Yeah, good protection in front of him from a row of forwards, and now Fairuz Rahman with a chance to close the gap again. He's just to the left of the uprights, and that looks pretty good from here, and the flags go up. Malaysia strike back. A very entertaining 5 or 6 minutes here. 3 scores in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Thank you.
And we now have 3 minutes and a half left in this first half. I don't want it to end, Jed. It's been a beauty. 17-13. Korea just with their noses in front, and now Malaysia, they'll be looking for an exit.
Well, if you'd said last week it was going to be like that this week, both you and I would have asked ourselves to walk out and come back in again.
That's right, 52 points they leaked last week. Here we go.
Play on.
A bit of fortuitous play there, and Amarul Mukmanan comes away, battles on, gives it to his front row partner, Amarul Abbas, the try scorer. Here goes Nakashima. And I think the intention is clear.
Knock on advantage.
They want him taking the line on. The Koreans, though, just can't get a trick with their counter-attacks. They've had 5 or 6 chances, Jed,
Knock on.
to cause some chaos
Scrum.
on the turnover, and they just can't nail it.
Scrum right.
14.
They seem a little bit stunned, to be honest. Some of these younger Korean guys. We know they've come down with a fairly young mix, and it's a great idea too to
That's it.
introduce young players into the pressure of international rugby. And yes, okay, granted it is tier 2, but still, they're representing their countries. It means a lot to them and their families. The pressure is certainly there, and it's experienced by anybody that really steps into this. I think some of these boys might just be struggling to find a cool head amongst this.
Fine.
The Malaysians,
Set.
as they get closer to the Koreans, they seem to settle down a bit better.
It's a very young half pairing. Chai, just 21 years old, the scrum half, and they get it away now. Scooting through the gap goes Lee Yong-gun. Absolutely smashed by Gavidi. And Chan doesn't like it. It's too high. And there's a man down clutching his head. Thrown like a rag doll by Gavidi.
Hands off.
Let's have another look at this one.
Well, he's been truly collared.
Injury.
He's been truly collared.
Just leave the ball here. Turn it against you guys.
Concern from Gavidi.
Hands off.
I think he'll be okay.
Bring your player back.
Certainly the team mechanics come flying on. Here we go. So, the disparaging arm, look. Oh, look, he's hurt him already. He's already. Well, he's been thrown on the ground roughly, Centurion.
So what happened, what I've seen is Blue 12, high tackle, about the corner.
I think he'll be okay. I mean, like, it's not like he's not going to have kids.
No, he had the hand up appealing before he was on his way down.
Oh, a little bit of a wobble,
Captain.
and
He could be gone.
he could be gone. I think he'd like to go. It's very hot out there.
Listen, let me speak.
And
Okay.
just a request to
What me and my AR saw was
stop being so rough.
you grab the player above the collar, okay, and you drag him down.
He's
land
going
on
to
a
pull
dangerous
Craig
position.
Chan down to show him how he did it.
It's a yellow card, okay, off
The
you go.
pocket he goes. Application successful.
Listen,
And the big old
what
slice.
happened is, it's different level.
give it
Okay,
the-
this one swing
um,
down, hit the head. That one I play advantage on you guys.
I think he'll
That
enjoy
one
10 minutes.
Okay? So it's different story, okay?
I
Let's
guess he
talk
had
to
to
your
give
team.
it, didn't
Okay,
he?
let's change the behavior. Yep, you good one. 30
Blatant,
seconds,
blatant.
let's go.
Referee
Play all right.
absolutely bang on with his ruling.
Did he got the career
Concern on the
ready?
far side for Lee Yong-gun.
Your subs already?
He's dropped those 2 balls from cold
Okay,
on the
Korea,
22. Now
Malaysia,
he's
let's
been
go.
absolutely scragged by Gavidi. And not a memorable first half for his first run on appearance for Korea.
Let's go.
Hope he's okay over there. He's in good hands with the medical team.
Okay, ready. Back 10 on my AR, please.
And they look good, don't they, when the Koreans start to get on the front foot there. They do look fluid. It's only when they're static that they seem to struggle how to counter-attack, looking for someone to take the ball forward. Park it is going to drill the corner now and try and get one up on these Malaysians in the final couple of minutes of this first half with Gavidi in the bin.
Yeah, you're right. We the Koreans are very, very impressive, and you can't knock them for the. You've actually got to commend them for this. Is they've got the ability to spot the gap and put the ball there. You know, they've got a lot of confidence in their skills and their abilities, and it shows. When you see the snatching hands and, you know, the brittle nature of the way that the Malaysians are running onto it, they're pretty tense. The Koreans, on the other hand, well, look at this.
Here goes Shin. He's just come on, the 20-year-old, on debut, first touch from the Yonsei University, and he gets a gift under the posts. And well, how about that?
Well, he's made that himself. You know, fairly standard ball, but look at this, done him.
20 years old, Jed. And, well, it wasn't a gift. Ito just couldn't get a finger on him. He beat the first tackle, dots it down, and he says to the rest, what have you been mucking around at for 38 minutes?
Yeah, and well, he might too. Terrific score by the midfielder. Sure, Malaysia one down in that part of the park. 27.
Park Jisoo with the extras. So the Koreans race out now to 24 points. The Malaysians are 13. Well, it's taken a while for this game to get into gear. Then we've seen 4 scores in the last 10 minutes of play. Look at the Koreans, they do look tired, as Jed has been alluding to. We'll take a break now and come back with some highlights. It's Korea 24, Malaysia 13. Welcome back here to Bukit Jalil National Stadium. What an intriguing and curious first half of rugby. It's 24-13. Jed, talk us through the action.
Well, Korea got off the marks, out of the blocks, with some real power plays, and it looked like we might be on for, well, a bit of a repeat from last week. Second try here, just indicating how effective they were working early on in this first half, and they leapt away to a 10-0 lead. And all of a sudden, after a penalty, this occurred. Look at this. The work here. This was after a great break in the midfield. And the number 7 in your screen, he took it all the way to the line. And eventually, the debutant referee, Craig Chan, comes back and gave it the all clear. But then one of the great sights in the jungle, the runaway train. What a score by the skipper. And they needed it. It turned the fortunes of Korea in this match. They were looking like they were only going to go up the track, up the tunnel, 4 points ahead. That wasn't the case.
That's right. So we saw 4 scoring efforts there towards the end of the last sort of 10 minutes. So it's 4 tries to 1. And some of the statistics here, well, it's pretty even down there. But the Malaysians with more phases than the Koreans, 27-18, 8 handling errors apiece, 4 penalties each conceded, kicks in play 8. So, and the scrums, we have yet to see a tight head. For all the dominance that the Koreans have had, they haven't been able to force anything out of these Malaysians yet, Jed.
Well, rightly so. I think it's actually pretty clean, smart management by the Korean side at scrum time. It was going to be very easy for them to get picked off by the referee if they didn't show some discipline. And I think in the lead up to games against Hong Kong, Korea really has to have a really strong mindset about how they're going to approach that set piece, because Hong Kong, unlike Malaysia, will not give them a single inch.
That's right. They'll be watching this match. Lee Jones and co, Craig Hammond, Brett Wilkinson and co, taking a good long look at this. In 2 weeks' time, they travel to Korea to get their first game. There's the Duke saying to the boys, probably, we are still in this. We trail by 11, but we have shown that we can rattle the cage here. Craig Chan's had a first game, the referee on debut as well. 40 minutes left here then at the National Stadium.
Well, the Duke, he's calling for a big 40 out of these men. They've got to start with a big 5, and then they've got to back that up with a big 10, and then they want another big 10 to make 25, and then he'll call for a big 5 after that, and then a strong 10 to finish. So either way you look at it, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wearing a Malaysian jersey tonight, the next 40 minutes, you're going absolutely flat out.
Yeah, and as we said earlier on, a lot of inexperience on the Korean bench, and it'll just test this coach's mettle to see whether he's willing to give them a bit of game time here at the risk of perhaps losing their way a little bit. But we saw one of the young men come on, Shin Hyun-seong, who scored that last try under the post, the 20-year-old. There's 3 more 20 and 21-year-olds sitting on the bench. And if they all get on at once and the game is in the balance, well, anything could happen here. And that might be the cost of blooding young players. And world-ranked Malaysia 45 won't care who's on the field. They'll go for gold here, deep into the hands of Wong. We haven't seen too much of this excitement machine yet. They try and exit here through a couple of phases, the Malaysians. The Koreans contest, and they've turned it over. Kim Jeep fires it out to big Kim Namuk. He shows his experience, straightens it up, gives it back to one of the big boys. Fishing it out is Chae Min Seong. The Koreans have come out of the blocks here with an early turnover chance. Chae Min Seong gets his back line underway, and it finds a good bit of grass there. Scooping it up, Lin Jin Seok, this big second rower. Wong goes around the ankles and pulls him down. They're just inside the 22. Chae gets it away again. That's a good thrust from Korea. Chae again on there in 22. We see Kim Kim-in, also from the university. One of these young players, 21 years old. A rear touch for Jeong Yeon-sik on the far side now. Shahir Ashraf gets in there, the experienced veteran, wins the turnover. releases the pressure valve.
Holding on.
Well, he made the point that we haven't seen a lot of the attacking prowess of Wong Wai Wai, but he has, in his first half, he made 3 good tackles, very strong tackles. So he has been involving himself. He's just been, well, he's been doing all the work on the other side of the coin. Hopefully, that bit of investment early on is going to lead to him getting some opportunities out wide. He's a finisher. And in the level of rugby that we're dealing with at the moment, he is dangerous.
Time is off, Captain. That's it.
Injury break as Yang Tae-yong writhes on the floor.
Someone might have touched him in the liver.
So, Korean coach Seo Chun-ho has taken that risk. He's taken off Park Ji-soo, the fly half, and he's brought on Kim Kim-un, the 21-year-old from Kyunghee University. There's Gavidi still in the bin, looking unrepentant, Jared.
Well, you know, the Fijians have got a different sense of justice.
Can the Koreans put on a few more points while the big midfielder's in the bin? And how will this new fly half go? Keep an eye on him. Kim Kim-un in 22. Big moments for him on debut. It's a Malaysian line-out though. Amarul Mukmanan. Also on is Akmal for the Malaysians from the KK Sharks Club. Looks like Tan has not come out for the second half.
Play on. Off-white.
A little scrum half. Probably didn't want to get himself at the bottom of a ruck there, but they win a penalty.
20 to score straight off the feet.
Chance to bop it out into the Korean half.
Well, they moved the voice now, the Malaysian fans. Outstanding. You can hear them. You can sense them working to lift their national side. Look at that vigour. That's what you want to see from your home supporters. Late night here in KL, they've come out in big voice.
Tell you what though, that's the biggest crowd participation we've seen on the circuit so far, and they're way behind the game line. Nakasima gives the short ball to Wong Wai Wai. Going in there, Korul Abdallah. Inching forward, Brian Wilfredoline. Hardly called his name, the big prop.
Ripped off from the tackle, play
Been ripped
on.
in the tackle.
No.
Ito Sakuru will be cross with himself there.
Too many people on the ground.
And they managed to keep possession somehow just inside the Korean half. They'll have another shot here with a scrum.
Well, they just need to hang tough here, Malaysia. They just need to hang together and work closely together for as long as they can without making any significant errors. They're the ones applying the pressure to Korea. They're forcing Korea to lift their game, exert all the energy. Who knows, you might see them pinch off a few points late. They've got to stay in the game here. That's an important quarter for Malaysia. I can't emphasise it enough.
Here's a great pitch side shot from the production team. The Koreans try to march it forward. They've done so. They walk over the top. Big turnover for the Koreans. Che fires it off to this Kim Kim-min. And this is where they look dangerous when they get the ball on the front foot. This is Shin Hyun-song, another one of the debutants, 20 years old as well. So he is giving them a run, Coach Seo. And so far, they look confident. No lack of confidence from these youngsters. What a luxury to have such quality at such a young age. Taking around the ankles, Nakasima. They're on the 10 metre now. Kim Jeep looks up and takes a couple of extras. The front row clubs. Jae Min Seong, it's static. Here's Kim Kim-un.
Backwards.
And that goes backwards, luckily for him. Kim Namuk scoops it up. Yang gets over the top of him. They secure it. Coming out of the line is Nathaniel Tan. Kim takes the line on this time. No shortage of confidence. Great to see as Cha Sung Kun takes it to ground. Arms out for advantage. Here's Shin. the replacement. Bit of footwork from him.
Red 4.
Lee Jin Seok
What is it?
gets it going. Good drive from him, supported by Cha. I think it was Nathaniel Chan he was calling out there for Malaysia, Craig Chan, and right on the 22, they might just have a shot here.
I'm off. I'll play
I think they'd probably go to the polls too, just to get some
Korea.
oxygen back in the bloodstream. But
I'll play report. I need to
my
check.
word, number 23 for Korea, this young boy Shin.
Go back.
He's there's something about the way he gets about his business, isn't there?
I'm off.
He got tracked down pretty early in that piece for a pretty good shot from the blind side. As he looked the other way to take the ball, he took it, and he still maintained his balance and went forward. He's potentially one to watch for the future.
When you look at 20-year-olds around the world coming into Colts rugby,
so he lands on his back on the ground.
Okay.
these men,
So,
these young university
what you're
students
seeing
are
is
huge.
Black 4
There's
holding the player
2
after the
props,
breakdown. Throw him.
and there are some
Roll.
midfielders.
Flips him,
Flip
Let's
him.
have a listen.
Okay.
so
Where
he
does
lands
it
on
land?
the ground.
Okay.
On
Recommendation.
his back, that's yellow card.
This yellow card. So blue 4.
Blue 4.
Where's the mark? Right here.
On the mark, yeah.
Okay.
Patrick Kwok
Captain.
injecting himself
Blue
into
four.
proceedings, and looks like
Blue four.
Nathaniel Tan is going to get his marching orders as well. And they'll be down to 13 men for a couple of minutes.
What happened is my AR scene. After the breakdown, you're holding a player and roll him, okay, in a dangerous positions, and it land on the back. This is unacceptable. We can't do it. Let's go.
Well, there'll be no arguing with the referee.
Listen.
Many intelligent
Second half
people have
just
given it a good
start,
crack,
okay?
and I've heard some
Let's
very
behave,
strong arguments.
You
I've heard
respect
some
me, I
very terse
respect you,
arguments as well.
okay? Let's
But all of
change
them,
discipline.
and even as we look at the history books, Grant, we find they've all failed miserably.
No, they cannot be argued with. They're like wives. And Patrick Kwok
Yeah.
injects himself. It was right in front of him on his side of the pitch, and he's an experienced referee, young Paddy Kwok.
Next row, high tackle, and one over there.
And I'm sure we'll get a chance to see what Nathaniel did there, but he's off for 10. And Gavidi is coming to the sideline. He's ready to come back on, so they might be down to 13 just for this play. And he's kicked it too far, the young man.
Straight out.
Straight out. And he's gone. He's tried to peel off every possible inch, hasn't he?
The look of
You want to drop out?
confusion and
Drop 22 or scrum from where you're
bewilderment
at.
on the Korean faces
Scrum or drop
is
22. Drop
well,
22.
potentially one of the only expressions you're going to see them make.
Drop 22.
That's the overconfidence of a young man, isn't it? Just trying to ping it right into the corner. In any case, they'll bring it back to the 5 metre,
Back, go.
so
Let's go. Drop 22.
maybe he just miscued it. Anyway, it's a relief for the Malaysians who get Gavidi back. They are back.
Well, this could be the answer to Shin on the other side. He has been operating without this man Gavidi marking up on him, and he might find the hallway a little bit tighter in terms of space now.
Fairuz Rahman goes deep, doesn't find touch, and they return it with a bit of interest. What's going to happen here? It's a wobbly old bounce. It sits up. Nakasima's back. He looks up and sees a kind of a wall of white shirts, a very wobbly wall. And he decides to go for the safety of the touchline. And do you think the experiment of Nakasima at fly half has worked? Clearly he's there to take the line on. He's not so much a distributor, but he's broken the line a couple of times. Perhaps that was the game plan.
Yeah, I think maybe from sort of fourth or fifth phase ball, but from set piece they just don't have enough wood on Korea to give him the space he needs.
Cha Sung Kun there takes that one slightly behind him, slows down for it. The arm is out by Chan. Here they come, Kim Namuk, a show and a go. Lee Jai Bok entering the fray. I've only said his name a couple of times. And this is Lee Jin Seok there with the valuable couple of extra metres. The big lock still going well. 8 minutes into the second half. Jaemin Seong and advantage, long advantage by Chan. We're going to come back right across the other side of the field.
Outside.
Just take a look at the breakdown here. Well,
Push your back.
saw Malaysia do that a fair bit themselves, didn't they? I think they might take a pop of the points here. Oh no, he's off the sideline as well.
Let's see if he can. Yes, he's found that one safely. He's gone a bit more conservatively as Kim Mun. And you can hear the singing just carrying on around the stadium. On the far side, a group of jovial chaps. They don't really care, or perhaps they do, and they're trying to help the Malaysians bridge that 11-point gap. It's the Koreans with a line out about 18 metres out. Let's see if these youngsters can cook something up in the midfield. Kim Jeep finds Lee Junseong. Oh no, it's onside. Yeah, well done by Amarul Mukamanen. Gets it going. That's a great surge from him and Brian Wilfredeline. On the front foot now. Will they poke it downfield? Gavidi. Nakasima floats it over the top to Wong Wai. Can he get away here from Jong Yon Sik? Great tackle coming in from Jang Jong Min, sorry. And the wingers finally clash out there. Good tackle. Just inside the Malaysian half.
Say again?
Oh, you made the point, Grant, about Nakasima being positioned a wee bit further up. Interesting to see, he made that pass out to Wong to put him into space. That's really that's the class of the guy. He may not be a line breaker as such, but he's certainly got the ability to put guys away.
Again, the Korean line out struggles. They get it though. Timing issues there. Looks like a turnover. Yes, it is. Nakasima with the quick hands. Gavidi steps inside the first. Ito Sakuru comes up, looming on his inside shoulder. Arm is out. Free ball for the Malaysians. Not rolling away. You can see on there Choi Seong-jok in 19. He's also on, the 20-year-old from Kyung Hee University. He gets penalised. A massive kid for 20 years old. Holy moly. So the Malaysians, they're about 48 metres out. It looks like they're going for the post. It's a big kick. And Fairuz Rahman, I think it's within his range though. They could pop off with 3 points here if he can get the radar going.
Well, he can kick. I mean, the penalty that he slotted first up, you know, if you rewind and take a look at that, you'll see that he got a fairly good hold of that, and it went a long way past the dead ball line.
Good shot of the grass there. You can just see how long it is. This is the home of the national football side who play here. I'm sure they cut it a bit shorter for the football. And he might just trip over that Teski there. He's not careful. He's got a shiner on his cheek. I think he didn't start the game with that shiner. Close to 50 metres on the angle. This will bring the crowd back to their feet. Fairuz Rahman. He bangs it. He's got the height. He's got the distance. He's got the line. What a kick from Fairuz Rahman. He keeps Malaysia in this game, and the crowd are also in the game.
Well, that's fairly legit. That puts you on the radar, doesn't it, with the teams in the competition. We saw last week in the warm-up in Korea, he was potting them off the 40-metre line like they were nothing. And look at that one. That's so high, wide and handsome. And just a momentary limp. This always happens after you score a mighty three like that. Goodness gracious me, I think my leg would come off if I'd have swung at it like that.
Malaysia, this is their highest score in the ARC from this season and last. 16 points. Here's Wong with the ball, works it up to the 22. Duke supports him on the bounce. Nakasima takes it coolly. Here's the hero belting it down, this time on his left foot. What a skillful player. Will he get the roll? Not quite. Lee Jai Bok goes back. He's got a big left kick on him. Just puts that down to Nakasima. It's a bit of a wobbly line from the Koreans. Some of them not even. Oh, what a bit of beauty Nakasima gets back to his feet. Individual skill. Now Wong. They sense something here.
Lost right now.
The players and the crowd. It's quick ball. Unusually quick ball. Ito Sakuru. And just trying to exploit the disorganisation in the Korean defence. They're finally back now. There's a Malaysian down in back play. Or is it? Yes, it is a Malaysian. There he is. It's Nakasima after that bit of brilliance there. He almost got away, didn't he? The Koreans now, they're in no rush with the line speed. There's some big men in midfield. Wong takes the line on and drops it. Copeman with the call from the AR, and Chan brings it to a conclusion. Wow, Nakasima there. He's working his way into this game nicely.
Oh, beautiful bit of touch. It was a beautiful touch, wasn't it? And it always seemed like it was on when the ball was coming down to him. It was like, what's going to happen? Is he going to have a crack at the gap or where it is? But he beautifully timed that run to converge those three defenders on him. And then he's just popped it up and gone after it. That was superb skill. If you're in the backyard, boys and girls, after this game, just be practicing it like that. We pop and catch.
That's right. Line your little brothers and sisters up and chip it over them. Let's have another look at this brilliance from Nakasima.
You just watch him off the mark here. He's seeing it, he's drawing them, floats them. Look at that. And that is a skill that you develop in the backyard. There's no two ways about it.
Nah, and then he just smashed his way through two tacklers and was unfortunate just to lose his balance. It was like about 4 blue shirts facing up against Lee Jai Bok.
Okay, let's keep. Okay,
That's
keep
unfortunate. That would have just been amazing.
Okay, same as last one.
We've also got the Korean replacement scrum half on. Even there at 21, another 21-year-old from the Korea University, Kang Min-jun. Big moments for him on debut. Look how white his shirt is.
Fine. Set.
This is where the pressure will come on the Malaysians. A lot of youngsters coming on. Sorry, the Koreans. The scrum's still steady though. His first touch, Kang. Gets it out to Kim Kim-in. They go very deep indeed, and it's just bounced inside the field of play. Well judged from the young man, and that is a beauty. The confidence of him.
Well, when you're young and full of beans, you don't know you can do any wrong, and on that occasion the margin was in his favour. 24-16. It seems like the next score might crack this game. It might put it away for Korea, or it might crack it wide open for Malaysia.
Let's go,
Interesting times.
Malaysia.
Tan still in the bin for Malaysia as Amaril Mukmin lines this one up. Goes to the Duke, can't get it back. Good interference from Choi Seong-jiok.
Straight forward. Scrum blue. Scrum.
Knocked on. Luckily for Malaysia there, because the timing between Amaril Mukminin and Dinisvaran Krishnan wasn't ideal. So they'll have a defensive scrum on their 22. We're yet to see any of the replacement front rowers. Also a group of young men, plenty of backs coming on.
Fine.
University players.
Set.
Khairul Abdullah feeds the scrum. They go for the big one. Sakuru gets it out nice and early. Coming off his wing is Badrul. He beats one, he beats two, he gets through the gap. He throws it forward, unfortunately. Lost control there. Park Cha Sung Kun tidies it up for the Koreans, and the Malaysian defence has steadied itself, and that's loose, and there's a knock on there by Shin Hyong Sin. Hyun Seung. A little bit messy from both sides there.
Well, the team mechanics are spending a lot of time on the park at the moment for Korea.
All right, let's go set up first.
There's 2 of them out there at present. Body parts starting to seize up. Cruel conditions for big men at the moment. It's absolutely sweltering outside.
Let's go set up.
That's Kim Namuk there in 12, the oldest man on the field for Korea, 29, from the Kepco club. If he goes off and another youngster comes on, well,
Bind.
it'll either make them or break them. Malaysia back to 15. That's better from Malaysia. So Kuru pops it up again off his wing, Badrul. Oh, and he's thrown the intercept. And the wily old campaigner, Kim Namuk, has been gifted a 5-pointer, which will break the hearts of the Malaysians. And that's entirely against the run of play there. Very disappointing. Have a look here.
Well, how's he read this? You really don't know. Fairly standard start-up play, wasn't it, for Malaysia? And he's really just chanced the arm of beating them to the punch. Kim Namuk. It's the old, he's picked his pocket all the way through. I don't think he ever really wanted to make the tackle there. He's just come on the scene early, and well, he's fleeced him.
He was down and out 30 seconds before. And so that's the 5th try for the Koreans. Here is Kim Kim-in, his first chance at points for his country. The first of many, perhaps. And the score now, South Korea 31, Malaysia 16. A bit of a buffer now, the 3 scores out in the 59th minute of this fixture.
Just checking that out. Potentially, here it is, maybe telegraphed. You bet it was. Look at that one.
That was very well read. And Gavidi was through the gap if he had missed it. On comes big Lawrence Petrus from the Angels, front rower. He replaces Brian Wilfredoline. And he scored a try last week, did big Lawrence. Crashing over for the first try of the match in Korea last week.
That's a telling blow for Korea, isn't it? That's really sat this crowd down. This Malaysian fan base has been, and that won't be helping either, Boozer.
No, his restarts have been spot on for the whole game, but this time Fairuz Rahman just puts a little bit too much juice on that one, and the pressure will come back on this Malaysian scrum on halfway with the back split. Let's see if the Koreans can just get it through to the hands to their dangerous outside backs.
Okay, set up. I don't want pre-engage. Okay, hold. Same as you, no pre-engage, no get. Crouch.
20 minutes remaining.
Bind.
It's
Set.
a more respectable performance by Malaysia this time round, but gee whiz, Korea. They seem to have been battling, but they've held it together.
Ghosting through goes Kang Min-jun, fires the white ball out to Jong Yon-sik, and the speedster can't get away. Intervening was Fairuz Rahman. He saved the day momentarily. The Koreans pile over, it squirts out. Choi Seong-jok. And the big men are lurking in midfield here, looking for try number 6. This is Kim Kim-in. This is this exciting young Shin Hyong-seong in 23. He's got good footwork. They slow it down for a moment. The blue shirts rearrange themselves. There's 3 Koreans lining up here. First off the block is Choi. Puts his head down. Cha now just popping it up to Yoo Ji-hoon. We haven't seen much of him. Kim Jeep there and a little knock on. And in the end, the Malaysians scramble back and the defence stuck up to the task.
I think Brad Maker may be looking down towards the bench right now. There's a few members of his forward pack starting to double over. They're not looking great. I don't think the skipper's in great shape either. He certainly doesn't seem to be running freely. Let's have a look at this. Good move by Korea to get out wide. Look at that, he's put himself on the spot to save Malaysia. Good desperation defence by the home side, but this Korean outfit is starting to look pretty ominous.
Yes, and they've still got 3 clean shirts on the bench. It's 16, 17 and 18, the entire front row. just trying to squeeze what they can out of 1, 2 and 3 for now, and we've still got a Malaysian down on black plate. I think it's almost quite cruel to bring on
Good to go.
3 front rowers in the final quarter when you're struggling in the scrum anyway. There is big Bradley Mika.
See out.
They'll have 3 weeks off before hosting Hong Kong here. In fact, I think they travel to Hong Kong for round 4.
Steps coming in. All right, 4 off. Can you bring
Don't
him off,
forget
please?
to
Thank you.
follow us on all our Facebook
Yes.
channels. We are on Facebook at asia.rugby. Constant flow of information, highlights, news, interviews. We're on Instagram at Asia Rugby Live. Top class images from the content team here, and we're on Twitter at Asia Rugby. Get involved.
Time back on.
Very difficult situation here for the Malaysians to get out of 15 in and 10 out from their line, and
8.
a back line of young, eager, enthusiastic, big young men bearing down on you. Nakasima at first receiver, 2 receivers way back downfield, and they decide to give it out to Syahir Ashraf. Is that forward? And Paddy Kwok was onto his microphone before that was even halfway to Wong. And Wong, well, he just a little bit frustrated by all that. That's not the time to be testing out your floaty passes on your own 5-metre jet.
No, it's not. But I mean, look, they're trying something. They're trying to put the Koreans off. They're trying to break their stride. You can't knock these guys for trying something new. And of course, the only problem with trying something new is that you've got to try and execute it. Yes, it's unfortunate, and it's just a shame that you've got the talent of Wong sitting out wide. He's shown great character and great work rate to come off the wing, clean rucks, tackle guys, take 2 or 3 steps before getting hammered himself. He's done everything he can. He just hasn't got the ball in space.
Here we go, big times for the Malaysian defence as the Koreans just 5 metres out now. Here he goes, shin off the right foot, gets taken by Gavidi, slows him down temporarily. Fishing it out is Kang Min-jun. And a real chance for all these debutants in the Korean jersey today to show what they're made of. They've got enough buffer on the scoreboard now to just pile on some points, not be worried about the result so much. Kim Namuk looks to get one out to Big Na. He takes that. That's out in the covers. Big Na, Kwon Yung, the skipper. Steady work from him. This is Jong Yong Sik. You heard the call. It's a maul. It's been held up. Lim Jun Hoi there manages to get it to ground. Nakasima's doing his best to upset things there. Kang Min-jun off the floor. He looks up, he sees a lot of small numbers outside him, and Lee Jin's shot gets barreled backwards. They managed to hold on though. Kang again. There's the big lock replacement, Choi going to ground. It's slow, laboured work. This is the most patience we've seen. Kim Namuk out, quick ball to Jang Jong Min, and he gets taken care of by replacement Nur Ikwan. Puts him into touch. No doubt about it.
Well, good character in front of their home fans. They're still showing pride in their line. Good commander. That's a proper shot, isn't it? He's really put that one on him. Nice work. Nice work. Great camera work too.
Nur Ikwan from the Angels Club. And we've also seen a hooker replacement for the Koreans, so Kim Jeep is done for the night, and Sun Yong Ki has come on from the Hyundai Glovis Club.
Look at this fantastic shot we've got here. Man, it's a great stadium, isn't it? What a facility to come to. The Asia Rugby Championship here in KL. It's magnificent.
Malaysians have replaced their hooker too. Here's Nurisman from the Angels as well. It's a bounce. And Nur Ikwan, the replacement scrum half, does a Dave Loveridge off the ground there. It's a beauty. And Gavidi there loses it in contact. Kim Namuk with the grubber, coming in hot and fast as Jong Yon Sik. And what did you see, Jed?
Well, I thought I might have seen a try. Just quietly. Now, I know in the protection of the commentary box I can say that sort of stuff, because they won't hear me out there in general population. But what are the referees got to say to each other?
Thank you.
Steamboat, Steve Copeman there.
Greg, do you
Great to
hear
see
me?
the Steamboat this evening, isn't it?
Can you help me to check try yes or no,
He's been
please?
chugging along.
That's right.
Thank you.
So Greg Hinton getting to work out tonight, all the way from Mongolia to make these decisions.
Clever little kick that, beautifully weighted. Look at it run. Now, he's in for all money. Oh no, I think he's blown that.
He's bounced it on his knee,
I
hasn't
think
he?
he's bounced it on his knee. They've gotten rid of a fair bit of turf there. Let's have a wee look at this. And am I wrong? Oh yeah, I'm wrong. I'm terribly wrong.
Off his knee. Well, I'll give you the benefit of hind legs, Jed. Good competitive effort from the fullback, Fairuz Rahman. He just threw everything at that, and you're right, the little left-footed ousted from Kim Namuk, it was a beauty. And it was Jong Yon Sik against himself. It was his to lose, and that's what he's done. But good pressure from the fullback.
Yep. Yep, I got you, Greg.
Greg Hinton, the Australian living in Mongolia.
Okay, so scrum 5, Malaysia ball, correct? Thank you.
He's on the ball too.
No try.
Fairly predictable response by the crowd, but why not? 5 for effect.
Bring him on, thank you.
Great bit of skill by Namuk, wasn't it? And he beautifully weighted that. Just couldn't be finished off. But late in the game, wonderful to see that sort of skill.
Hold the push.
The result here last year was 35-10 to Korea, so not too dissimilar to what we have now, but we still have 14 minutes remaining. The Koreans look the more likely to put on some more points.
Crouch.
And
Line.
got to give this Malaysian defence a bit of a tip of the hat there. It has conceded 5 tries, but it's also been quite resolute at times. Gavidi runs it out from his own line, picks it up and goes again. It's slow though. Nur Ikwan takes his time and they smash that one downfield to the halfway. Here is Jong Yon Sik again. It's a good return. They scoot around the short side. Replacement hooker Son Yung Ki with a carry. Up to the 22 now. Kang Min Jun looking for runners. Here goes Cha. He gets to the 22. Hashrafuddin with the tackle. Shin now, and that's a terrible pass. Nakasima, can he pick it up? No, he can't. That was a real rib tickler coming up right there, wasn't it?
Well, you can see the benefit of having Gavidi back in this Malaysian defensive line, because Shin, when he got on the park, was wreaking havoc, and that's all stopped now. That carry-on has been extinguished. And, oh, you just, I don't know, if we've got a player on the park tonight we'd like to see let go more than that guy. That Wai Wong, or Wong Wai Wai I should say, it would be, I think, good for everybody, heart and soul, to see him get some space and really light it up.
Yep, 70 metres ahead of him. Wouldn't have bet anything against him to go the full 70.
Bind. Set.
Malaysian put in about 30 metres from their line. Koreans go early. Chan doesn't like it. Ito Sakuru goes quick, maybe off the mark, but who cares? Gavidi just toying with these youngsters, the Korean back line. Over the top goes Kang Seon Hyuk there. Another 20-year-old replacement. He can't quite get it though. Again, the Malaysians pick and go. This time it's Akmal. Here goes Duke. Don't see much of him in the second half.
No, not on the ball.
it is at the back. Straightening it up is Shami Afik from the Polytechnic. Another new player on. Mika rolling the subs here late in the game. Fairuz Rahman, a little bit of inventiveness from him. All tidied up though by the Koreans, just showing a bit of courage, throwing themselves on the floor here. Jong Yon Sik now can't really make any headway in the traffic. Kim Namut, the two 12s meet, the two very experienced 12s. Sakura with the tackle, coming on at pace. Cha Sung Kun.
No, blue, no.
Big open passage here. This will be sapping. And we see the replacement prop on Kang, and he gets in there and knocks it on with his first touch.
Yeah, now, yes, it's not clear. Let's say it's slower.
Well, they're starting to really pull in the big breaths now, aren't they, both sides?
29 handling errors, that is a lot.
And I feel very, very positive about Asian rugby when I watch a game like this. Yes, he's a bit of a mismatch in terms of experience at this top flight, but Malaysia are making up ground as quick as they can get it. They've got some good-looking youth. They love the game here. They take it very seriously. You know, and you feel the absolute desire of Malaysia to be a force in Asian rugby. The Koreans, well, look at them. They brought a development side basically with them after a very good performance last weekend in Korea. And you've seen the growth of some of their young players as well. So
15.
both of these sides, you know, we've all, in Asia, everybody chases Japan. There's simply no way around it. Japan are so far down the road, some think it's not worth trying to chase them. Not these two teams.
It's 16.
Yep, Malaysia enjoying a run at the moment. They beat Sri Lanka a couple of weeks before round one of this competition, which gave them some momentum and confidence. And that was against the Sri Lankan side that's ahead of them in the world rankings.
Yeah, just bring them off.
And more
15,
subs coming on for the
15,
Malaysians. On
15,
comes
let's go.
Akmal and 18. Off goes Amarul Abbas. And
we know that Malaysian rugby does have significant resources behind it. Particularly if you look at teams like the Borneo Eagles. We know that there is the support and the backing, and they can get to the same kind of funding as everybody else. So they will have the opportunity to improve their cause by touring, by taking on teams further up the bracket.
yep, they've seized this opportunity with Japan sitting out the ARC for 2 seasons. Off his wing comes wide. That looks suspect. Nakasima to Amarul Akil. It's okay though. Here's Ito Sakuru going for the strip. Legion Siok.
Easy.
Replacement prop. Akmal with a carry. It's tough old work there, isn't it? Not really making much ground out of the Korean defence there, and all pumped up is Son Min-soo. Gets a start this week, the 7 from the Hyundai club. He's gone 71 minutes so far. He's been good. It looks like they're going to have a shot, Jed, and just slow things down a bit.
Well, it's going to be an interesting game 3. I don't mind saying that right now. We could see Korea really bring the guns to bear on Hong Kong, who had a warm-up game today in Hong Kong against the South China Tigers. Victorious over the newly formed professional team out of Hong Kong, the national side.
That's right, round 3. We have a break next week. Hong Kong will travel to Korea. Koreans have not troubled them a lot in recent years, and this young side as well. Kim Ki-mun from about 40 out with the angle. That looks tidy, but it's faded to the left. So with just over 8 minutes remaining, it's still 31 plays 16 here. 15-point buffer.
Let's go. Let's go.
Game has just slowed down a bit in the last 5 minutes, hasn't it? We had that flurry of activity in the final 10 minutes of the first half. Just the one try so far in the second half, and that's that intercept by Kim Namut. They go deep. The Koreans are all behind the ball here. Lots of players behind the ball. Kim Kim-in. Just some of those passes unsympathetic. Tidying it up though is Son Min-soo. And they swoop in on it, the Malaysians. Shami Afiq and 20 there. Look how fast the Korean line is coming up. It's blistering up. It's Kim Namut again. He puts it into the hands of Jang Jong-min, someone who could finish from 40 metres in broken play, and they've done enough to upset the Koreans there. Goodness me, the line speed there from the entire Korean back line was very impressive.
Well, he's looking to thread the needle. He's right to think about the ball in space, but it was so telegraphed that it was easy to pick off. And as you said, the Korean line was collapsing on them so quickly that really the play there was a sneaky old chip through the line, put the ball on the grass. As we watch here, he's blown a gasket just off your frame there. Fairly nasty injury of they walking off the pitch. He's all done. There's a replacement on to take care of him, but he won't be feeling too good in the morning. That, I think, comes down to just, well, dehydration, really, in these conditions. Got to. It's got to, Grant. Soft ground dehydration.
5.5 minutes remaining. Here comes Y bursting into the line. Again, it gets lost forward in contact. Disheartening for the Korean supporters, sorry, the Malaysian supporters. It's turned over though. They're lining up for it. Having a look over the top is Kang. He sees, he's put that nicely on the grass, but he's only one chaser though, and it's a good chase from Jong Yon-sik, and he's done enough for the turnover there. 1-on-1, he's done well. Good eyes up rugby there from the little scrum half replacement, looking over the top and popping it onto the grass.
Well, as I just take a look off camera here, you can see the Korean side. They're drawing in the deep breaths, but I can tell you, the opposition at the moment, the home side, they are looking savaged by the effort they put in tonight. They're on the line, but I would say the lights across the board are out.
7 turnovers to the Koreans, 3 to the Malaysians. And the turnovers just seem to be happening at all the wrong times. Never a good time for a turnover, but momentum always lost.
Play.
Korea now, a raid here on the line with 4 minutes remaining. Son Min-soo with the carry. Kim Kim-in back to Kim Namut. Give it to the talisman. With the carries, Lim Jin-hoi. They're 3 meters out. They stay off the ground. They keep their feet and they're over. And it is Lim Jin-hoi, by the look of it, from Pasco. And Craig Chan's going to have a look, but there's no doubt in my mind, unless there was something in back play.
Demo, please.
Into the process they go. It won't be too hard to see this. I think it was pretty clear for all to see.
Can you check?
There
Yes,
won't
try
be
yes or no,
too much
please.
pushback from the crowd after this decision. As take a look at the closing moments of this, and well, it's a bit of a statement to all in the competition, isn't it, about Korea? They've been right up against it tonight. It hasn't been all their own way. Well, they're going to finish. Well, keen to finish very well indeed, aren't they?
Yep, same as last week.
Yes, Greg.
Points came on in the last 20 minutes. The
Yep,
tiring
thank you.
Malaysians again here. Yeah, that was the easiest one tonight for the TMO, Greg Hinton. And it was the replacement, Lin Jun-hoi. Try number 6. too short of how many they scored last week. And still 3.5 minutes remaining. The Malaysian defence just unable to hang on. And you've got to say the bench from the Koreans has outplayed the Malaysian bench. As Kim Kim-in lines up this straightforward kick. Easily adds the 2 now, and it's South Korea 38, Malaysia 16, running away with it here with just 2.5 minutes remaining. Koreans now, well, they'll be wanting to carry this momentum in. It's a shame for them they have 2 weeks off. Or perhaps they're looking forward to it. How did he stay on his feet there? Incredible strength. Facial expressions, great work from the camera team. That one's beautifully placed, but well taken by Lee Jin-seok. Just outside the 22, very athletic stuff. Late in the game, the big legs must be tired. Here goes the try scorer, Lim. He's full of beans as well. And good work at the breakdown there by Malaysia. And will they poke the corner here and have a last shot themselves?
I'd like to see them have a go. I'd like to see them have a go. And I think they're going to have a go, Grant, which is fantastic. You know, it's consideration for the...
no.
Oh, dear.
Scrum.
He's done a Kim Kim-in. They've both done it now. The 2 replacement fly halves have
look
butchered it.
Look, he is a stunned mullet, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it looks like when you're young, good looking, and you've just kicked the ball dead.
Remember those days well. And he didn't need to peel off that many metres. He was on the 22. He just had to get it out.
He came flying into the spot, mate, with the sirens on, the lights blaring.
Crouch.
Give me the ball, I'll sort it out.
Bind.
That's a shame.
Set.
Kang Min-jun to feed in the final minute now. Cha at the back there. He's been good at number 8 tonight. Taking on the line. Gavidi won't be fooled though. Holds up young Kim Kim-in there.
Please.
Finally to ground he
Yes,
goes.
tackle.
Kang Min-jun. The runners coming from everywhere. Kim Namuk now tried for the quick hand. He couldn't transfer the ball in his hand. Jong and Jang looking to conspire out there. These two very electric players, not really
Line out, roll scrum.
getting much space tonight at all.
Line up,
Debutant
line up.
referee Craig Chan, pretty keen to milk every second out of this 80-minute debut.
Korea.
He's enthusiastically going for the full 80. He could have called time early there, I think.
Still smiling. He's having a great time. You heard it. Final moments here in round 2. Malaysia, they scored 2 tries here last year. They're only going to come away with the 1 tonight by the looks. The Koreans have turned that over on the line out. And they're just going to wallop it over the sideline. Kim Kim-in, who's had a good debut, gets that over the sideline as Craig Chan calls time here at Bukit Jalil National Stadium. The Koreans eventually have shown their class and they've ground out a 38-16 victory here, Jed. Your comments?
Well, commendable for both sides. And Korea deserved winners, but I'm very, very pleased for not only the team, but the management and the coaching staff of the Hibiscus 15. They've done well, very well, in the 80 minutes we've seen. They've made a very strong fist of things. We've had a competitive game tonight.
We have indeed. There it is, your final score, 38 points to 16. Bonus point for Korea. Let's have a look at some of the highlights from the second half.
Well, there's some good highlights from the second half. There's one of them, if you're a Korean fan, that is. The man's done a Lazarus. He's come from being flat on his back, getting attention from the team mechanics, to picking the pockets of Malaysia. And the wee stab through the middle there. We thought he was in for all money, this bloke. He had him for pace, but he just couldn't get it past that pesky old knee. As the replay shows, no try awarded for that effort.
Kim Namuk putting his hand up for player of the day today.
Now, here was a real show of strength by the Koreans. So again, just drifting that line. And then it was just, well, let's pick up and let's do all the heavy work in here. Look at the drive, look at the determination, look at the focus. And there's the points.
2 Koreans there taking on 5 Malaysians. The absolute determination, as you say. But it was Kim Namuk who set it up again. He really did have a big second half, the veteran inside centre. And he has led, along with his fellow Koreans, this Korean side to a pretty big victory here. 6 tries to 1. The 1 try to Malaysia there, just not getting the ball into the hands of their finishers. And the Koreans, well, you might feel like they left a few points out there as well. As we look through the stats there, 34 handling errors, 11 turnovers in total. And the Koreans, well, those 63 phases, probably the most telling statistic. A lot of kicks in play, 32 kicks, which is quite surprising in the modern game. Some of them a bit aimless down the middle of the field, but an entertaining match nonetheless. None more so than the 10 minutes before the end of the first half, where each team came back and really threw it at the opposition, had the crowd on their feet, who've been treated here to 54 points at the Bukit Jalil Stadium, as we stand by now to get a few words shortly from the captains. But Jed, where does that leave the Koreans now as they go home and prepare for Hong Kong in 2 weeks' time?
Well, it leaves them in reasonably good shape, as good a shape as they could hope to be in. And it leaves Hong Kong, I think.
Okay, well, Young, on behalf of Asia Rugby, congratulations on another win this evening. Tell us how the 5 new players went this evening for you.
Yeah, they have very good talent. Yeah, today it was a very tough game today, but we had made such effort. It's a good win.
And talk to us about yourself. I mean, I'm looking at you with a number 1 on your back. And you're clearly a prop forward. But tell us about the 40-meter sprint down the touchline for your try in the first half.
Yeah, just for win. Yeah.
Well, it's great to see a front rower sprinting along like that. And have you anything to say to the fans here, the supporters, for coming along this evening?
I don't know. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Kwan Young. And you've got 2 weeks off now, I believe, and good luck in your next match against Hong Kong on the 8th of June in Korea. Have a safe journey home.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, a man, a few words there, and some of the answers put into his mouth, I suspect.
Well, and rightly so. I mean, he's done it all, hasn't he? He's skipping the side. He's lit the sideline up with some genuine pace out wide, shown some great athleticism, shown some leadership, and now he's going to answer the questions. What more does he have to do?
Let's
Dubro,
go across
another
to
hard night at the office for you, but a better score than last week. How did you think tonight's game went?
For me, first of all, I'm really proud of my boys, and they work hard for this. And unfortunately, the result is not what we expected. And we have learned our way, and probably we'll take it from here for the next game. But I'm really proud of my boys and my management.
Okay, I think how big a hit is it when you lose your number 8, Timothy Wunimoku, in the first half? How do you cope with that?
Yeah, that was really a shock for the team, but we expect that that will happen this game. So, but the boy who come in, he did his really good job. He did really good, so I'm really proud of the boy.
Well, we certainly wish Timothy well to come back from injury as quickly as possible. A discipline problem tonight. You were down to 14 players for nearly 20 minutes of that match. What message will you have for the boys about discipline in the next match?
I think since we're playing in home, I think the boys get a bit excited. So probably for the next game, we will be working on our discipline and probably more organized on discipline.
Thanks, Dugro. And finally, it's great to see the ultras in full voice there, drums and singing, and indeed all the fans here, great to see them. What message do you have for them ahead of your next match?
Probably we're going to review the game today and we'll work on what we need to work on our weakness. But first of all, we're going to focus on our recovery because we have a lot of injury for today. So we're going to focus on the recovery first.
Okay, well, look, we wish you a good rest over the next couple of weeks, and look forward to seeing you in action in your next game against Hong Kong. All the best. Thanks, Dugro.
There we have it, some insightful comments there from Na Kwa Yung and Divasvaran Krishnan. Let's look at the table now after these first two rounds. There's Korea within 90 points out of these two matches, and they take the full complement of bonus points. 10 points on the log. They will need those points when they meet Hong Kong in 2 weeks' time. June the 8th, we go back to Namdong Asiad Stadium out of Seoul, and the Koreans will host Hong Kong. World ranked number 25 plays Korea, world ranked 30. That is something to get excited about. And we've seen the Koreans blooding a whole raft of new players that are obviously going to stand them in good stead for the series and the future. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at asia.rugby. We're also on Instagram at Asia Rugby Live. And finally, we're also on the Twitter at Asia Rugby. On behalf of Jed Thine and myself, I'd like to thank you all for joining us here tonight in Malaysia for this big round 2 match. It's South Korea, though, that take all the points, and look forward to you joining us for round 3 in Korea on June the 8th. Thank you very much. Good night.